know, I really wish Starfield wasn't delayed. I'm so looking forward to that game. I want to play it so badly, but I have to wait another 6 months. It's so far. It was supposed to come out in November last year. I just want to play Starfield. Release Starfield. Okay. We'll get it eventually. Starfield will eventually happen. Eventually. In the meantime, we've got Star Trek to tide us over, which is, it's like Starfield. It's in space, so that's fun. So what episodes? We're doing Collective. That's with the Borg Kids, Icheb, Mazadi, the other ones nobody cares about. Spirit Folk, more Irish stereotypes, so that's Star Trek for sure. And Ashes to Ashes, which is, it's a good episode. I don't know what the name of... Okay, it's all about Ensign Lindsay Ballard and her coming back to the ship for space reasons. It's a whole thing. I don't know what the name of her new species is or what the proper thing to call her is, because you can't call her a zombie, because that's blatantly racist against their species. I don't know if Undead... Is she undead? Like, if you... They're the Kabali. Like, if you cast Death Coil on her, would it heal her? I don't know how Lindsay Ballard works. What I do know is that it's yet another cure for death. We're on, like, number 7 or 8 by now. That's never going to come up again. So that's... It wouldn't be Star Trek if the implications of the episode were totally ignored. The fact that there is a species out there just resurrecting corpses that we keep shooting off into space, that's probably fine. I don't think we need to worry about that. I wonder if Starfleet institutes a cremation policy after this. Like, are they okay with this? Is that fine? Because I feel like people want to... Okay. What I'm thinking right now is, I assume when you join Starfleet, you have to, like, fill out a bunch of forms saying, in the event of your death, what do you want to happen? Do you have any religious things or cultural things you need to do? What's the deal? I wonder if part of that is, do you want us to make totally sure that you stay dead? Because people get resurrected a lot. Does it count as resurrection if they're from an alternate universe? Probably not. That's probably fine. Is it genocide if you refuse to help a different species procreate? Does that count? Because that's the only way they do reproduce. But I mean, okay. There is in TNG season 1 or 2 that species that might just be humans. I don't actually remember. They look human, but so does everybody else. It's hard to tell. There's that people that only survive through cloning. They're probably human. It's the same situation, right? They can only procreate one way, and Starfleet is explicitly denying them that way. Because it would require their involvement. They are human? Yeah. Okay. I just remember they looked human and the other people were Irish. And there was a pig that they were very rude to. They beamed it on the ship and then, God, who was it? I think it was the Irish dad was kicking the pig. That's very rude. Also, 1 minute till we start Collective, so everyone should be queued up to Collective, which is season 6 episode number... God, what is it? I want to say like 16. See, just look for the one called Collective. It's fine. You'll figure it out. There's only one episode. And in Starfleet, I would assume most of the corpses they recover are probably people shot into space, right? Which means they were on a starship. Most starships out there aren't generational ships. So the people who are going to be shot out into space are people who were just killed instead of just, like, died of old age, right? Surely. Could they have resurrected Spock? Could we have gotten Kobali Spock? Could we have pressed play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play? I have so many questions about the episode, and it's 2 episodes away. It's the third. It's the last one. Oh, what are they? I assume this is poker. What does Harry have? He has one pair. I can't see the. No, it's not poker. What are they playing? What is this? I only know 2 card games: poker and Pazak, and this is neither one. What card game is this? Though I'd be very willing to bet that Neelix is hustling them. Yes, Harry. Thank you. Jesus, Harry. Harry got something right for once. Yes, Harry. What is it called? Is it poker? Wait, then why did Harry? Wait, do I not know poker? Tom gave Neelix one of his cards. Is that a thing? That's not. Is that how poker works? Do I not know anything about poker? Oh no, you're not getting out of your bet that easily, Tom. They will remember this. Sure you did, Tom. We all believe you. You're ridiculous. I need to look up the rules to poker. Because I didn't think trading cards was a thing. Poker rules. What's a good poker site? WikiHow, yes. Let's skip all the dedicated poker sites and just go to WikiHow. Let's see, Texas Hold'em. That's part 1. You have to learn Texas Hold'em first. Adding betting and strategy. This is really, really long. Okay, I don't want to read that much. I just want a list. I don't need the entire history of poker. Blinds and antes, yeah, I get all that. Limits, don't care. You can call, raise, fold, or check. Those are the only 4 options you can take. Okay, maybe I just shouldn't worry about it. Maybe I should just accept that either they're playing poker wrong or I don't know enough about poker to judge. So let's just leave that aside. We should gather. We should gather the different Harry Kims we keep killing in alternate realities. We could. We could like sustain the entire Kabali society with Harry Kims. Gosh, just we need to stop talking about the Kabali. They're not in this episode. They don't exist. There's no such thing as the Kabali yet. All there is there's a Borg cube that's. It looks pretty badly damaged. Since when did the Borg mask their approach? First indication something sketchy. Borg don't do that. I I don't really remember what happens. My guess is going to be that they beam the Delta Flyer on board the Borg cube. That's my guess. Or the Delta Flyer is just going to win. That might, like, it's one of the two. But I'm still willing to bet on beaming the shuttle. Tractor beam, close enough. Okay, Harry's dead again. That's fine. We can just hold on to his corpse, give him to the Kabali. They'll resurrect him. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Okay, 2 things I noted there. One, it's the regular Borg voice, which makes me think this is pre recorded, Because there's only 5 Borg on the ship and they're children and have much higher pitched voices. Second, they changed their pronunciation of futile. They said futile instead of futile. They always say futile. I guess it makes sense the Borg would pre record, though. They're all about efficiency. When did they change their pronunciation? Was it like only futile in TNG and then Voyager was always futile? What's the deal? Okay, that Borg's got some nice calipers for a hand. Yeah, less of an assimilation, more just murder. My god, Tom, stop freaking out. There's only one corpse. It's fine. You don't even know that person. They don't matter. I also wasn't aware that B'Elanna would take over Harry's job if he was gone. The alternative is we get some extra to do it, but then we have to pay them more because they'll need lines. So I guess we kind of have to get B'Elanna. So far we have 3 hints. 4 hints. There's something screwy with this. 1, the voice. 2, the fact that they're sneaking up on people instead of just going full throttle. 3, they haven't repaired it yet. And there's a 4th one that I forgot immediately. So we're gonna learn in what, season 7, that this was like a biological bomb they put on the Borg cube. I wonder if Neelix counts as a biological bomb. I wonder if the cheese could infect Borg systems. Because the cheese basically shut down Voyager. It like spread through the whole system. I wonder if the Borg are vulnerable to that kind of thing. Because you can't assimilate cheese, I assume. Oh, their voice does sound a little more distorted now. It's getting a little sketchy. No, B'Elanna, we had like a whole 3 episode arc about the Borg negotiate. Remember? That's where we got 7. The person who's standing right next to you. They do that sometimes. Don't worry about that. I mean, it sounds like the Borg are just in the same predicament as Voyager. They just want to go home. That's all they want. Wait. If they okay, I'm wondering how the logistics of this are going to work out. Oh no, Seven's beaming over. I was thinking like if they lower the shield so they could beam one of the crewmen off the Borg ship. I was like, no, just take them all at the same time, super easy, and then we just leave. Beam everyone over, just leave. But no, I guess they only lower just a little section. Okay, a few corpses. It's probably fine. That, okay. The Borg need a system like the Enterprise D have. It says, computer lead me to the holodeck, and then it just flashes lights around, gives you some nice arrows. It leads you. Where the heck is grid 6-3 subjunction 1? Oh yeah, the baby. The baby that only exists in this episode. That's kind of freaky. I'll grant them. The Borg baby in the weird tube is substantially creepier than the baby in a shelf. Because the baby in a shelf was just kind of funny. That's actually kind of horrifying. Okay, I'm learning more about the Borg. Their thoughts are transmitted to the Borg speakers, so the sort of iconic Borg voice is just their equivalent of Majel Barrett's computer voice. It's not actually the sum of their voices. Oh, 7, you're making him self-conscious about his thoracic nodes. God, that kid's just the worst. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's gonna die by the end of the episode because he's not in the future episodes, but I feel like the next 30 minutes are just gonna be us feeling good about murdering this child. Just making us want to get rid of him. Look at that. He shoved. Was that Mazzotti? I think that was Mazzotti. He shoved Mazzotti. He can't do that. I wonder when they get their full Borg out. Well, presumably they bring. I was wondering when they bring their full Borg outfits. Because right now they're kind of in swimsuits. I like the glitching on Icheb's voice. That's a good detail. Will they, though? Do the Borg care? I don't get the impression the Borg care. Okay, at this stage, I feel like we could just, like, punch them. We could probably just leave. Also, all their they don't have armaments anymore. We just destroyed their armaments, remember? It's fine. Okay, maybe we don't punch the child. Maybe we don't punch them while they still have control of the force fields. Maybe that's a bad plan. Ray. Yeah, we don't. Right, he died on the shuttle. Oh, come on, Sen. We can just let them die. They're Borg. Where could Harry be? I'm trying to. We haven't seen the Delta Flyer yet. So I assume he's still on the Delta Flyer, like somewhere in the bowels of the Borg ship. Okay, here's my prediction for how this episode is going to go. Because all I actually remember is the fact that there are Borg children, that really annoying one who tries to be in charge, I'm pretty sure he dies, and they rescue the rest of them. How we get there at the end, I don't remember. My guess is going to be Harry's on the Delta Flyer, he blows up the Borg ship from the inside, and the annoying fake leader kid is caught in the explosion because he doesn't want to be rescued. No, Doctor, we definitely should use it as a biological weapon. No, we don't have to use it on them. Well, I mean, we could. We could use it on them, but no, against the rest of the collective. Come on. Don't tell me you'd object to a little genocide in the name of self-defense. It's just a small genocide, a little one, to tide us over to the next firefight. No, Janeway, don't. If you see them, you're going to develop a bond with them, and it's going to be harder to murder them. Seven, come on. How did he get there? Did they. Wait, was he already in here? I thought he was just in a back room. Yeah, okay, he was here fixing a thing and it blew up. Right. God, these Borg are terrible at their jobs. That's true. Janeway has murdered people while looking them in the eye. That's true. Maybe she just wants to see who she's murdering so she can best formulate a strategy for murder. Oh, okay. I was trying to see if there might have been a triangle in there. There was not. Just regular rounded ships. Unfortunate. Yeah, but I mean, their parents were probably assimilated too, right? So their parents are probably dead. Well, kinda. Kinda dead. Okay, rude. Wow, they really do want us to feel good about murdering this kid, right? Or, Janeway, How about we use a gun on the child? This kid is like that time Seven got severed from the collective with Vaughn Armstrong. He just he he doesn't know anything else, I guess. Maybe he was abducted a lot younger and he's just been in a maturation chamber for longer. They're all hormonal. Bloody teenagers. Does the Delta Flyer carry photon torpedoes? I'm wondering if he can just start blasting. Yes. Okay, plasma charges aren't photon torpedoes, but it's probably helpful. Probably good. Oh, they're not. Okay, they're not torpedo things, they're like bombs. They're just carrying bombs in a box. Okay. He was just curious. He wants to get to know her. Your parents were crazy people who got you nearly murdered, Seven. I. Okay. So, both of the people in this conversation have terrible, terrible parents. Both of their sets of parents nearly got them killed and did, in fact, get them assimilated. It's just. Maybe they could bond over that. They have multiple kinds of shared trauma. They could be the best of friends. No, no touching. I wonder if that's true. Wait, is that true? I don't think that's true. Because we see his mother later. Hang on. What do each Eb's parents look like? One of them is Badger from Firefly. Who's the mom? Oh no, her hair is that color. Okay. I thought she had darker hair. Okay. They're not arriving, are they? Yep, no, Borg don't care. And you could They could be the best of friends if you tell them, or they might go a little crazy and murder your hostages, one or the other, but probably worth it. Because who do we even lose? We lose Chakotay, whatever. We can get a new first officer. We can make Tuvok first officer. We lose Neelix, good, solid. And we lose Tom, but what does Tom do anyway? Tom's a pilot, but I mean, this is a fancy future smart starship. It can fly itself. We may or may not lose Harry, but we can just replace him. We can get a new one. I appreciate your suggestion, but oh come on, Janeway, it would be so easy to turn our backs on them. Come on. Leave them to their deaths. It's fine. You call it. You've already developed a bond with one of them over your terrible parents. That's good. And your hair color. That's all you need. Ah, that's what the poker game was for. It was Chekhov's card game. Everything in Star Trek happens for a reason. Also, I don't know if that's true. Wait, do ghosts exist in Star Trek? I'm trying to think of ghosts we've seen. We've had a lot of references to ghosts. We've had a lot of things that we thought were ghosts that turned out to be anaphasic life forms that were, hanging out with 110-year-old grandmothers. I don't think there are actual. I mean, there's the question of B'Elanna's afterlife and whether that was real. I think the afterlife exists in Star Trek, but I'm not totally clear. I mean, I can appreciate as much as the show is clearly preparing us for his inevitable murder. I can appreciate that the guy just wants to do his job. He just works here. You're making it harder.
Oh, right.
Jesus, house.
What a
You
what a
scared me.
what a disaster. What happened here?
What do you mean? What happened here?
Where'd everyone go?
People, I don't know. It's Voyager. Nobody likes Voyager. I like Voyager.
I like Voyager sometimes, just maybe not most of it, and any of these episodes that we're watching today in particular, but this is oh no. This is tragic, Ryan.
What's wrong? This is a good episode.
I'm sure it's fine. I just don't remember it very much in particular.
We get to meet the Borg children, and
Oh,
we
yes.
get to murder one of them.
Yay! Anyway,
She's clearly holding something physical. What is? And it's moving. Is that an animatronic baby? What does she have?
um,
Is it a puppet?
I think it might be a real baby with prosthetics on it.
That baby looks too young to be used in filming.
What's the rules for baby?
I don't know. I can look
So
it up.
I feel like it's like an actual baby. It's although it could be a prosthetic. Like I feel like prosthetic Borg baby would be sort of expensive just for a one-off like this, but
Well, I mean, the baby clearly is CGI or a puppet at times because they have it in a tube of liquid.
yeah, I suppose. So I guess also you could probably just get like a generic baby animatronic which already exists.
Oh, Mazati's being so helpful. He collected his stuff that he left behind.
She does not look like Seven of Nine.
Yes, Harry. Use gun on the child.
Use gun on child.
God, what we need is a security team that can go into the Borg cube, bring everybody out, but most crucially, we need a Boolean on there.
Yeah, because you can't mess with them.
You don't mess with a Boolean. Even the Borg know you don't mess with a Boolean. We've sort of decanonized the Borg baby shelves. However, the Borg baby shelves do live on sort of metaphorically in that this entire subplot with the baby is going to be shelved after this episode.
Wait, what happened to the Borg baby shelves?
They don't exist. They were replaced with maturation chambers. They're gone.
I thought those were maturation chambers.
The maturation chambers are now tubes of fluid. We don't just put them in a shelf.
I feel like maybe the shelves were a type of chamber, you know? Maybe you have to let them dry every couple of hours.
That's where you disinfect the baby.
Oh, darn e-reviews here. I was really hoping, Ryan, this would just be... oh, dang, I didn't mean to chase him away.
You have to be very careful with the kinds of jokes you make.
I wasn't meant to disparage e-review. I was like, oh no, Ryan is backup now. It's not just going to be Ryan and everyone's favorite, his very favorite commentator, just being able to speak unimpeded for 3 episodes.
So I'm trying to look up Borg baby shelf, but all I'm finding is baby related, items, pieces of furniture from a company called Borg.
Too good.
Is Borg like Swedish, or is it like?
It does sound Swedish.
Do they sell Borg furniture? Borg, 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 Borg.
Why do we even want Harry back? Oh my god. Well, no, we do need him back. Janeway needs her punching bag.
The Voyager only has what, 121 Harry Kims.
Harry Kim is the Worf of Voyager. He only exists for the captain to berate.
If you were any other man, I would kill
What?
you.
What are you gonna do, Harry? You gonna play your clarinet at her?
What's the episode where Harry kills the most people?
I mean, that specific question I don't know, but I would say the worst Harry episode, as in the episode where Harry is the most dangerous, is the one where he becomes captain of a ship for an episode with I don't remember the name of the ship, but I remember that Shepherd book is on it.
I guess I would say the one where he kills the most people is the one where they have slipstream drive that kills the entire crew except for Harry and Chakotay.
Oh yeah, he did do that.
And so I guess he gets half of those. I mean, when I originally thought of the episode, I was like, maybe it's one where, like Harry is sick of everyone's shit and uses his like fencing skills to chase people down hallways.
I want a holodeck episode like Barclays where he's just being a tough guy in front of the fake holographic crew.
I wish Harry was one of the Klingons in the Hirogen holodeck episode where he gets like reprogrammed and tries to fight things because he thinks he's a Klingon.
I'm not entirely sure why we rag on Harry Kim so much. Like, Harry Kim's not actually that bad. And Garrett Wong's pretty cool, so... But, like, screw Harry, right?
Harry Kim is not a bad character. None of the Voyager characters are necessarily bad characters with a handful. Actually, that's not true.
I guess Harry's just an easy target.
Over half of the Voyager characters are not bad characters. They just never really change over the course of the series.
If we got Harry Kim in Picard Season 3, would we want him to have been promoted?
No.
Do we want Commander Harry Kim?
Admiral Kim. I'd give Harry a promotion as long as he's still stuck like bootlicking someone above him in the command hierarchy.
He's captain rank, but he's just not actually a captain of a starship.
Yeah. Like he gets to be a bootlick somewhere way more important than Voyager. I've been introducing Star Trek to my partner, and right now we're sort of doing I'm sort of doing like a what am I trying to say? Greatest hits with episodes, just so we can kind of get through the plot, so we can get through a lot of these arcs quickly, and then we kind of.
Does that include all the Irish episodes?
We haven't gotten to the Irish episodes yet. I started with one episode of Strange New Worlds just to like sell the concept. And then after that, we went into the hard stuff and have sort of just been watching my favorites, starting with Measure of a Man. And right now we're making our way through third season of Next Gen and going to Voyager after season 3 of Next Gen. I don't exactly know how to say it, but like, I'm amazed at how much worse the show is, despite the fact that they seem to have more resources.
Oh, Icheb's in control now. He's a main character.
Oh boy. And not necessarily knocking Voyager, it's just not as good as...
It definitely sounds like you're knocking Voyager.
Alright, maybe I am knocking Voyager, but it's just not as good as one of the best seasons of science fiction television ever produced.
It's not as good as TNG and DS9, but what is? I mean,
yeah.
That's an insane bar to clear. Says kilobits per second 0.
Oh yeah. I saw a little bit of a problem. Ryan, you might have internet's trouble.
Oh no, it looks like it's still going on YouTube despite OBS telling me I'm dropping all kinds of frames.
Neat.
Still looks okay.
Did I miss
fine. Everything's fine.
miss the final triangle ship?
No. There are going to be 2 more triangle ships, but they're both in season 7.
Okay. Good.
And after Voyager, we can finally retire the triangle ship counter.
What are we going to replace it with?
Well, if we're watching TOS next, then I guess a sexism counter.
I was going to say a sexism counter, a racism counter, or a upturned Spock eyebrow counter.
I don't know, I feel like TOS is pretty good about avoiding racism. Like there's a little bit.
I mean, when you compare it to other shows from the '60s, it really goes above and beyond. But
Maybe I just don't remember TOS super well, but I only remember like a tiny bit of racism.
I mean, if you could make the show again, you'd want to.
I remember some American exceptionalism, but I don't think that
do
counts.
Certain things.
What if we just make TOS 2 with a different cast?
What if
Just
we
make it again?
Yeah, what if we make the original series, keep the original Enterprise, keep the general format, keep a lot of the characters, but just recast them, change out some of the crew members, and maybe make it a prequel. That would be kind of a cool idea.
That would be fantastic.
I think that sounds like a pretty good show. I'd watch that.
I like this arc because it's like Seven's a mom. I mean, she was already doing the mom thing with Naomi Wildman. But here she becomes a mom to like 3 kids. And it's an interesting metaphor because, you know, back in the day people used to have kids like in their 20s, you know, if not like 18, 19. And so like you're on your own journey to like figure out who you are and what you like and what you don't like and how to interact. And before you know it, you have kids. And it's like that kind of interrupts your little self journey. Because now you have 3 little runs to take care of.
Yeah, Seven has a family now that we're slowly going to either ship off or murder.
Everywhere you look, everywhere.
Yeah,
No singing.
We don't see 2 of those kids again, right? So
No, we do.
Yeah.
We see all the kids show up again, except the baby, who the writers immediately forgot about, and then tried to gaslight us by saying that no, we returned the baby to their family off screen. We didn't forget; it was just off screen.
The neglected.
a starship's
Parental neglect.
No place for a baby, not even a bored baby.
That's why we aged up Naomi Wildman in the span of like 20 minutes. So the next episode is Spirit Folk. We're back to the Irish, the weird fake stereotype Irish. So that should be fun.
It's kind of close to St. Patrick's Day. This is a holiday stream now. I demarcated as such.
They're going to drive the snakes out of... Wait, what's the town called? Fairhaven. And this time the snakes are only a metaphor for the Voyager crew, not for, what was it, religious minorities?
Celtic religion.
The whole snakes out of Ireland thing. Kind of, maybe don't look into the history of that.
So is this the Whacking Day episode?
All right, press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
Ryan, would you kiss the Blarney Stone if you went to Dublin?
No, that's gross.
I heard from my high school geography teacher that when he went to visit the Blarney Stone, he went to the pub and he found out that the locals would piss on it because the tourists kept kissing it. It would be really funny. I don't know if they just said that or if he just said that.
So I feel compelled to point out again, as we did the last time we saw Fairhaven, that Janeway's boyfriend is the only actor here who's actually Irish. Everyone else is just, you know, they watched a Lucky Charms commercial a couple times.
No imitation Irish accents, please.
Oh God, Seamus, come on, man.
What else did they use this backlot for? Is this the French city in
I
the
don't
holodeck
know.
episode?
Marseille is the
Oh
word we're
yeah,
looking
it
for.
it totally is. I'm pretty sure this specific spot where they're standing is where Neelix got accosted by some Nazis about his wine and bread.
I was thinking the same thing.
Oh yeah.
Thank God, Voyager, we finally got away from the whole Nazi arc. It was like 7 episodes in a row that was all Nazis.
All right, 1 second. I'm gonna.
Oh yeah, this is totally that city.
All right, 1 second. I'm gonna find out what other shows they shot on this set.
I'm going to assume it's a lot. And not just a lot, it's going to be a substantial number. I am aware that it is a lot. Yeah, these.
Nice little village.
Is this. Is this racism? This whole episode?
It kind of is. But I don't, it's historicism, right? So all those merry little ancient earth folk with no problems. Their biggest problem
All
was
those ancient Earth Irish folk who spend all their times in pubs and accosting people for money. You know,
and crashing cars on the side of the road.
And being very Catholic.
Yeah. So, it's just a holodeck thing to do.
anyway, how about the weather? It's starting to rain less and I don't like it.
It's
It's still
still
raining, but it's
winter
less.
time over here. It keeps snowing, and I don't like it.
Really, we had the first blossoming cherry blossom rosebuds.
Aren't you in New York? Why does New York have cherry blossoms?
Yeah, I mean, people also planted them.
Did
But,
you know that?
we have botanical gardens.
Did you know that when the Japanese sent the first shipment of cherry trees to Washington D.C. to like plant along the Potomac, as soon as they got there, the Forest Service just burned all of them because they contained an invasive species of beetle.
It was a trap. It was a plot,
And they had to send us
and we
more.
we figured it out. These episodes, Fairhaven and Spirit Folk, is excellent in the same way that the Mark Twain episodes are excellent.
They're stupid and they have people with
They're-
silly voices in them.
They're perfect. Though I do feel more comfortable making fun of Mark Twain.
Yeah, me too.
Is that racist against 19th century Americans?
They're
But
not
I'm a
race.
19th century American, therefore.
No, you're a 20th century American.
False. I was born in 1837. Wait. Superstition is the religion of fools. But isn't all religion sort of by definition superstition because it's about the supernatural?
Hey, we're not getting into that.
No.
That kind of stuff will get Star Trek canceled.
But Star Trek, well, religion in Star Trek is confusing because in the original series they have a Christian chapel on the Enterprise, but in TNG they're pretty explicitly all atheists.
Are they explicitly all atheists, or
Picard
are they
bashes
just?
religion multiple times
But there's
and calls it the Dark Ages.
What does he say in the episode where he's asked about the afterlife? Though he doesn't necessarily believe that consciousness just ceases. He just thinks that it doesn't go to like
They were
a
all to die. He
biblical
wasn't making
heaven.
any sense.
In
They
the
were all-
episode with the fake Vulcans, the Mintakans,
Mhm.
he calls religion the age of ignorance, superstition, and fear. The Dark Ages of ignorance, superstition, and fear.
First, proto Vulcans is the term you're looking for. Oh, lady friend. So this guy, he's very cued in on. How does this happen again? The holodeck circuits are fried.
Yeah, the
This is
bioneural gel packs are experiencing a polaron surge in their transducers, and it's creating a feedback loop in the holodeck image processing subroutines
it's
or
like
some such.
Moriarty but worse.
Yeah, they're all Moriarty here, except they're too dumb to like escape the holodeck.
All right, so so the Fairhaven sets were also used for the Hirogen Nazi holodeck episodes.
Yeah.
But they were outside of Star Trek. They were used for um, Murder She Wrote, MacGyver, Beverly Hills, Sliders, Jag, Angel, Heroes, Westworld, um,
So it's everywhere.
Curse of the Black Pearl, Princess Diaries 2.
Wait, Curse of the Black Pearl. Where was this used in Curse of the Black Pearl?
They were modified to look like old
Is this
Caribbean
Tortuga?
cities. I don't know.
Also,
I'm
I
trying to
wasn't
figure out
saying that
where in
nobody in Star
Westworld.
Trek is an atheist. I'm saying generally Starfleet officers are atheists
Yeah, they don't.
in
They
TNG
don't
era.
subscribe to anything.
Also, but
Generally.
the Cisco was like a convert to the Bajoran religion and the Messiah.
Does that count? Because, I mean, he literally met the gods.
He never.
It's not a
called
matter of
himself-
faith. He met them.
He never called himself emissary. He was like, "Yeah, I'm Commander Cisco."
No. He called himself emissary all the time when it was to his benefit.
And he had all of the
No.
spiritual experiences with the prophets, where they
Yeah, but
told him to do stuff, and
he didn't claim to be like any kind of Bajoran religious figure. He was always like, okay, that's their thing. I'm just trying to run a space station here.
I don't know. I think that changed over the course of his character arc. He was pretty. He went to heaven there. Anyway, it was Tortuga. It was also Port Royal in Curse of the Black Pearl. And it was where they shot the Smooth Criminal music video.
Okay. Does it count? So, about
So-
Cisco's religion, does it count as religion if you have objective proof of a god, or does religion sort of require an amount of faith
We
by definition?
it's complicated. Because what if you're just a regular Bajoran?
All right, take a breath.
I mean,
Settle. Calm yourself.
The proof of God, and it's called the Shroud of Turin.
So the thing is
Turin,
that
of course, was a character from the Silmarillion. Turin and Hurin, I believe.
Durin.
No, not Durin. Durin was a dwarf. Hurin and Turin are from the Silmarillion. I think they're men.
It's hard to doubt the existence of the Bible. Simply travel to any hotel in the United States and you will find the proof that you need.
So back in the day,
Yeah.
they didn't really talk about what we would call gayness today. They would just call it like the crime against nature, or like, the unnatural tendencies. So at the beginning of this episode, like, I swear Tom Paris has been using unnatural forces, and at late at night, so
I thought we weren't doing fake Irish accents this episode.
You say that
I'm doing the theater thing. It's a theater accent. But yeah, so all this unnatural stuff that Tom and Harry are doing at night, I think they just couldn't show it to us, but there's he's definitely unnatural, the two of them.
But Tom Paris is a path to many abilities some would consider to be unnatural.
But yeah, holodeck characters aren't supposed to see this. And
That's really messed up by Tom.
It really is. It really
that's
is
cruel.
Because first of all, he was really. Here's what I don't understand though. When we're talking about Harry Kim and unfortunate stuff that happens to him and no one else.
Like
So
everything.
Paris is the one that gets like all the girls for all 7 seasons, and yet Kim's the one with the STD. Like, how does that work? It's not even fair.
Well, I think it's pretty clear how Kim
Harry
got
Kim
that
had
STD.
Harry Kim had 2 separate episodes that were all about an entire planet of women being obsessed with him.
Yeah, and neither of them turn out well. Oh, look, the preacher.
What is the doctor getting out of this?
He really
Does he just really enjoy cosplay?
He really likes preaching to people. Adoy.
The Walking Dead has a really great preacher character because he kind of betrayed his congregation, but obviously the whole Christian message is about redemption and salvation. So he spends the post-apocalypse world trying to be like a good minister and like minister to people's souls and all that. But
there is a small issue with the priest thing here. These people don't have souls because they don't exist.
Right.
There's nothing to save.
Does the doctor have a religion?
Is the doctor?
That's why Ryan asked, like, what is the doctor getting out of this?
Yeah, is he Catholic? Is the doctor Catholic? Does he have a soul?
Like, why would you preach to holograms about salvation when they don't have souls to save? Like, there's nothing sensible about
I think the lady in the pews was right. He just loves the sound of his own voice, and people on the ship, the real people, won't listen to him talk.
Yeah. That's why anyone becomes a preacher, right?
I mean, I hope that's not why people become preachers.
Well, that's what it's implying here. But
these wait, aren't horns on cows gendered?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a cow. The bull has a bigger horn.
Oh, Maggie O'Hanrahan.
Oh yeah, so
oh no, they're not. Dairy cows have horns, so female cows have horns. For some reason I thought it was only male cows have horns.
No, I went to India in '96 and there was a farm across the street from my aunt's house, and I hung out with like a female cow for like an hour or two, and she had horns. She's like, they can gouge you.
I once met someone with horns. Good guy. He had some interesting ideas.
Okay.
The ox and lamb, they always have like funny names for like the restaurants in a fantasy town. I think like Skyrim had the fattened calf or something. But so Harry Kim gets a girl on the holodeck, and Tom Paris has to ruin that too. I just don't find that anything remotely funny about that. Like,
does it make it better that she doesn't exist?
No, but I'm saying
she's not a real person who has feelings.
Your best friend has to deal with you like that. But then again, like this whole
they're going to the bar again.
This whole simulation was programmed by Tom Paris, so I guess he could turn whoever he wants into a cow.
He programmed a girlfriend just for Harry.
Just so he could turn her into a cow. So there's a saying, I think it's by Joseph Campbell, but it's any piece of technology sufficiently advanced enough appears as magic. Um,
That's what Riker said.
so the thing is, though, ironically enough, writing is such a piece of technology. We don't think it's like too technological because it doesn't involve electricity. But like, if someone doesn't know what writing is, and I'm able to like read something off a piece of paper exactly as I recorded it, they'd be like, "What kind of devilry is this?"
Writing
Why are you
is a
putting on the accent
technology.
again?
Right.
Shakespeare.
Writing is a technology because it's in Civ 5.
Yeah,
I mean, I feel like even someone who doesn't have a writing system would be able to understand it conceptually.
now they do, but
Like people
but
from the past weren't just morons; they did
no,
understand.
no, now, but I'm saying at one point though, it was like a new technology.
People in
Um,
Ireland don't have written language.
Now, of course, we know what it is, but back then, like, if you imagine, I remember like cell phone cameras. So I had an aunt, she had Alzheimer's. So but she was also born in like the 50s India. So, the idea that you could have like a camera, much less five cameras on the back of like a little credit card size cracker, was kind of new. So I remember like I recorded her for at least a minute or two or three while I was talking to her. And then she looked at me, she's like, "Are you recording something?" I'm like, "Yeah." And she was,
Don't
"Oh, okay." But like, like you can imagine at one point people didn't know what a camera was or a video camera, and later a cell phone camera.
don't call my smartphone a cracker, or I'll want to eat it. I'll get
What?
lithium
Yeah, I
poisoning.
mean cracker sized, like it's a thin little wafer. But yeah.
That's not. What kind of crackers have you been eating?
Silicon. They're delicious. So it seems
Um,
like there's that weird frame drop in OBS caused a bunch of delay on the stream.
oh no.
So I'm getting responses to things we talked about like 10 minutes ago.
Delays.
Like I don't remember enough of the
Delays.
context to
We
respond.
don't remember anything here.
Oh wait, let's see if there's anyone who said that. Let's see if there's anyone in chat who agrees with me.
It is currently 9 minutes past 1 p.m. Pacific
So
time.
unholy magic again refers to butt sex.
Why would you say that?
I'm just trying to make. No, this episode's a little too much because you should just wipe all their memories, and yet here they're just like dealing with the revolt by the holodeck characters.
Ooh, Elizabeth points out that Worf, the Dominion, and Kira are not atheists.
True Stovokor.
Yeah, Kira, the Dominion, Worf. I mean, he is he. I'm the thing with Worf. He goes back and forth on being religious.
So, but also wait, technically,
He's
Kalas killed all the Klingon gods, so Klingons have an atheistic
yeah. There's
religion.
no religion
There's no
left
gods. So atheist in the
except
literal
Kahless is
sense
a
is
god.
yeah. So, but in the literal
Kahless
sense,
is
there are no
Jesus.
gods. They are very atheists because they literally killed them.
They're still
What?
they. Kahless is still a religious figure because he said he would be waiting for them at some point of light before they invented space travel.
Yeah. He meant human cloning though, so he knew about that.
Though I feel like, assuming that story is correct, like the actual historical Kahless said that, then
Not a god though,
like
because
it was probably
we ha-
metaphorical.
we had to use human cloning to bring him back. I don't think that's how this works. Well,
There's at the beginning of Tapestry, right? Picard is with Q, and Q's like, "I'm God," and Picard's like, "You are not God."
yeah, no, he's like, you're not gonna
He
pull
could
this
be.
one over me.
And he says, "I refuse to believe the afterlife is run by you. The universe is not so badly designed."
Savage. But Worf's religion, he goes sort of back and forth. He like loses his faith for a bit, then he goes on a retreat, and then probably loses faith again when he realizes that Kahless is a lie. Well, the new Kahless, anyway.
Oh,
Then he goes back and forth, but he's also a huge weeb for Klingon culture, and Klingons in general are religious.
but they
Dwarf-
killed their
Dwarf's a whole
god.
thing.
The
They killed their god.
Ferengi are also sort of religious.
The divine treasury,
Yeah.
the
even
blessed
though
exchequer.
their religion was just made up to sell books.
Would you buy something called the Suggestions of Acquisition? More unholy magics.
So, oh wait, this reminds me of Westworld
This is
when
like
they clinically analyze their subjects.
which
of
was
their
filmed on the same set.
AI amusement park. Yeah, interesting enough. And Westworld has a great soundtrack too.
This is like Night Terrors, but in reverse. Or Schisms. That's the one.
No, this is the one where Deanna's like, "Where are you? The eyes in the dark." So, the
Hang
hologram
on,
here
Harry Kim
lies.
was the program was designed to let Harry win. It doesn't count. You can't take pride in that, Harry.
So the hologram here is lying
Yeah,
in that, like, he's acting like he's just a happy little Irishman.
he's smarter than your average hologram.
And then over here, they're talking about the other people.
Next time, make sure to carry a gun.
Also,
What's his name?
from the
Sullivan.
two episodes ago, well, when they showed Fairhaven, they're like, "Yeah, let's just leave it on 24/7." And Jin was, "Yeah, fine." But apparently, like, leaving Windows on overnight causes
It's
food
just
to become
a
sentient.
memory leak.
Ryan, is that your
Sentient.
favorite? Is that your favorite game to play as a child?
Roll a circle
Hold
down
on.
the road.
Stick
Hoop
and
and
hoop,
stick. Yeah,
hoop and stick.
Actually, no, my favorite game as a child was Warcraft 3. I think it's substantially better than Roll Circle.
I thought you were an 18th century Irishman.
Yes, clearly I meant Warcraft 3 BC.
But
That's the game that Jesus Christ played as a child.
Do you know what
child.
Tiddlywinks is?
on his,
Everyone's
on
favorite.
his on his tablet that was just a stone tablet.
Do you
I
know
don't
what
think-
Tiddlywinks?
My definition might be different than yours.
You have a bunch of jacks on the floor, and you have like a bouncy ball. You have to like
Oh,
bounce the ball.
That's
and
just
pick up-
jacks.
Yeah, you just pick up the jacks.
My version of Tiddlywinks is way more interesting.
I'm sorry, I asked.
That sounds like a game that they would play in bloody Teletubbies.
Oh, I didn't realize the church had such a nice stained glass in the background. You spent some good
Yeah,
time
it's-
this episode.
I wonder if this is a real chapel or if it's just another set.
It looks like another set because it's lit pretty well.
They can bring lights in.
I mean, everything's being
But
done on
stained
the
glass
studio
feels like
a
it would be a
lot.
big hassle to bring into a set.
Everything's being done on the studio a lot.
Bring a gun to the pub, take them down.
It could be like a printed layer that looks like stained glass, but is really just like a sticker on top of regular glass.
Mm.
Or also, this is pretty simple stained glass. It probably might not be too tricky to build, especially if this is like a dedicated church set you use in a bunch of movies.
Mm-hmm. And like you said, though, there might be stickers because those colors, like if you need to change it to be like a mosaic or something.
What year is it supposed to be in this town?
They have
1920s, maybe?
1910 because cars are like so new. Yeah.
Okay. The dark times.
Who's that photo?
This is something I don't understand about Voyager, how they changed the holodeck so there's just control panels hidden behind random bits of furniture.
Oh, that was an
Yeah.
old
Rocks.
Next Gen episodes, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Next gen, they called for the arch, and it would just appear.
Yeah, in Voyager, it's like under a rock, which is like,
How do they know where it is?
yeah. How is it predetermined? It's like when they made the video game. That's how they had it.
Yes, Seamus has the right idea. Guns.
This is a Star Trek episode. We don't know what guns are. The problem that just if I was a captain, I would just not have a holodeck on it because they don't have the ability to turn off this dangerous thing. Like,
Yeah.
this thing kidnaps crew members, takes over the ship, malfunctions.
We can't even turn it off because it's a separate power system.
Yeah. On my
And-
ship, it's only ball and hoop and tiddlywinks for all of my crew members.
Right, yeah. Go ahead and watch movies in the 10 forward lounge or something.
Stick and hoop. Watch. Only Star Trek Voyager shall be permitted on my ship.
We have VHS tapes of old Star Trek episodes. That's what you get.
I wonder how Sullivan's actor feels about all these people doing fake accents. He's probably fine with it, right? Yeah, take him down. They have 2 guns. That's probably enough. They could have more,
There's-
though.
2 guns, 2 guys. It adds up.
So this is how the Salem witch
In
trials
fact,
happened.
arguably, you could deal with 2 guys with just the 1 gun.
Basically, someone sees like
I don't know. Those
something-
guns look slow to reload. We might need more than one.
or someone
Well,
has a
that's what the
personal
net's
grudge.
for.
Someone has a personal
Shoot
grudge
it.
over a girl, and they're like, "I saw a witch," and then all of a sudden you have a lynch mob, and they go and get the witch because so many bad things are happening in town. It must be the witch, and so yeah, them firing the guns is what causes the program to malfunction more.
What does the
It's like
computer mean
when-
62% compliance? How does
It's like
it not capable?
62% of the people froze.
But it does. How does it not have either no control or total control? I feel. How is there an in between option?
I feel
Yeah.
I like how shooting the control panel affects the entire holodeck, like hitting your keyboard with a hammer makes your computer crash.
By the way, once a mob grabs you, they don't like take you somewhere nice. You know, they like rip you apart like hyenas. So
I thought when the mob grabs you, they they take you to like the latest
bottom of the
fire
sea.
sale at Target or something.
Luca Brasi sleeps with the fishes.
They take you to watch the Giants.
Send a security team. Take phasers into the
Too
holodeck.
many
Take them down.
stray photon. Oh, I'm sorry, Captain. We can't beam them out. There's too many photons.
There's too much light in there.
There's the photons mess with the atoms, and the transporter can't tell them
Whoa!
apart.
Balana just said cut power to the hologrid. I thought that was impossible. That was explicitly canonized in an earlier episode that you can't do that.
And officially in Picard, the entire reason that even if a life support is failing, they're still gonna run the holodeck is because
That's
People-
such a bad idea.
people need somewhere to die where they're not paying attention to the ship collapsing, structural integrity collapsing around them.
I think I'm just saying these people
I
should
like-
have like a
I like
fuse
New Trek, but I
box.
think that was lame. I think that was lame to say that. Like that's why
The
we
fact
have
that the
holodeck.
holodeck is a separate, permanent, independent power system
Makes
should
no
have been
sense.
made non-canon. That should have been retconned. It's like,
Yeah,
no, that,
I
that
mean,
didn't happen. Don't worry
You're
about
telling
that.
me if life support's ending, but Tom and Balana can thump it out on the holodeck in sunny New Zealand. I don't think so.
There's the holodeck is powered by a tiny holographic ship that exists inside itself.
Oh, there's a tiny. Well, see, my idea was that
Does anyone here speak Latin?
They build a fusion plant. It requires like real energy to start the fusion reactor, but once you have the holographic fusion reactor going, it just makes the holographic energy just fine.
What if instead of hemlock, what if we used a gun? I suspect even spirit folk are susceptible to the Colt 45. If you turn a person in the Holic into a cow, do they die?
I remember in First Contact where like the clothes can transform into something else.
You know what you usually do with a turkey, Sullivan? You shoot them with a gun. Kill Harry and Tom.
Use gun on Harry and Tom.
Oh, very dramatic, Doctor. God, he loves this cosplay.
I thought it was our love for the one who's not a man.
Oh, Maggie?
No, the other one.
Eowyn?
Yeah, that one.
She is no man. And yeah, she's great. Everyone loves Eowyn. Oh, the reason the incantations didn't work, they should have said something like "Begone, foul Dwimmerlake." That worked for Eowyn. Just call him a Dwimmerlake.
Wait, what happened to all the stray photons?
They don't affect.
Like, oh no,
Don't worry about it.
we teleported Tom and Harry, and we got some stray photons.
No, that was several minutes ago. Don't worry about that.
Okay. Sorry. So, Ryan, I found out that it was Michael Okuda who originally said, "It works very well. Thanks for asking."
That's all you need to know.
I thought you were just quoting yourself.
Ah, yes, a spoon.
So, around this time, there was a guy who was inventing hypnosis and his name was Mesmer. That's where we get the term mesmerize from. But it was like a new psychology science that everybody's susceptible to hypnotism.
Only Voyager. I can never remember Voyager's registry.
Yeah, it's you know why? Because that's 5 numbers, and so far we've been dealing with 4 numbers.
I like Enterprise, which has 2. NX-01. Super easy.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next starship, NX-02. God, Doctor, you're not helping.
Yeah.
Do you think you can? I'm just saying, we've never seen someone try to hypnotize the Doctor using a pocket watch outside of this episode. So I choose to believe this is just built into his program and it works all the time.
Yeah, that's the thing. It doesn't make sense. But maybe what hologram? Sorry, maybe one hologram can like hypnotize another.
How does this work? Because Sullivan, is each person in this program like its own independent program and it's just running like 7 different windows?
Yeah.
Can you? How many people can you load onto the mobile emitter?
We've only seen one.
Oh yeah, remember that time Gimli went to America? I don't remember. Leonardo.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
no,
all he
but
is to
hold
me
on.
is Gimli.
It reminds me.
Leonardo da Vinci. That time Leonardo da Vinci went to America. That was great.
Okay, but it reminds me even worse of the first Sherlock Holmes episode in TNG, No, it's the first Dick Tracy, the what's his name?
Who
Picard.
cares? We know who you're talking about.
Yeah, Picard's detective. So the guy's like, where's Data from? He doesn't look like he's from around here. He's from
Dixon
South
Hill. That's who he
America.
is.
He's from South America. Dixon Hill, thank you. And then later, when they're in the Mark Twain thing, he's French, and it's like, I've never seen a Frenchman before.
Yeah, that's what the French look like.
And South America too. You know,
They all
they're
have somewhat
yellow
gold,
skin.
shimmering skin
Yeah,
and gold
yellow
eyes.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, South America.
Did I program you to have read The Time Machine by H.G. Wells?
I mean, you don't have to confuse him with the time thing. You could just tell him you're on a spaceship.
But they can't tell him that he doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So they're still lying to him.
True.
No, her name's Katie. Katie Janeway.
So I guess they don't have Windows Restore that'll just like restore the program back to like 2 weeks ago.
No, they don't keep backups.
Okay. They just have to explain stuff to their own fictional characters.
Does the Doctor have a soul?
We've asked this one before.
I know.
And
It's never resolved. At what point does a
mean-
hologram become a person? Is Sullivan a person?
can the Doctor have sex? Because that's a requirement for life.
No, we already know the answer to that
reproduce.
from the Andy Dick episode.
What was that again?
He said he's made modifications to his program.
Yeah, but can he create like a second program?
So those clothes are from South America?
They're clearly from Ireland. I don't know what you mean.
No, I'm saying Kathy's in the Starfleet uniform.
I don't know. What I do know is that Janeway should have brought in a phaser and set it to
Yeah.
Whitefield.
Basically. Told everyone to scram or they're gonna get tasered.
No, don't tell them. Just Whitefield stun everybody in the room at the same time and leave.
They'd all get the hell out of there because Katie O'Clair.
Oh yeah,
breathing
pulling the
fire.
daughter from the well. I was wondering how much what the rules are for this program. I was wondering, like, if a hologram kid falls down the well, can the kid die? Or is everything programmed to just sort of work out? How much trauma is this program allowed to create?
Tragedy, yeah.
Do children in this program, are they marked essential?
Wait, what? The Doctor was like asleep when he doesn't have the mobile emitter on?
He was in a trance, remember? Because of the
okay.
spoon.
Because of the hypnotism.
They did turn Maggie into a cow. I don't know.
Well,
they
look,
said sorry though, so it's
if
okay.
you just heard Don Paris that he's never gonna do that again, I think
because we're revoking his holodeck privileges, right?
We all learned our lesson. Sorry, wait. My kitchen's on fire. One sec.
Just turn it off while nobody's in there. It's not that big a deal. God, Janeway, come on. Is there even a monitor there, or is she just staring into the middle distance? What's she looking at? I'm trying to read the shop signs, but I'm pretty sure that's in Gaelic, so that doesn't mean anything to me.
There's a pot of gold.
Sorry, what was the joke?
That's just that he
They're just doing Irish stereotypes again.
Oh, okay.
do not light that candle.
No, that was Scotland.
That's very.
It was different.
Oh, that's such a I haven't read it, but it's a really good book.
I did read that recently because of this
Uh-huh.
episode.
Oh, really?
It's
Mark Twain.
it definitely treats people from the past as just total idiots who don't understand basic concepts.
Yeah.
No. Twain was able to pick things up pretty quickly, and then he.
You know, but I have to tell you, so on this,
Eavesdropping is by no means.
No, the book that Mark Twain wrote, Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court, he basically just treats everybody from from medieval times as a total moron who can't understand okay. The main thing with them is they believed literally everything that he ever told them,
Mhm.
that the Yankee told them, because they were too stupid to think it was possible for people to lie.
People can lie.
People didn't lie as much back then.
I thought I thought they were like Vulcans and couldn't lie.
Not as
God,
much.
bloody Vulcan lore. It's not the robot lore. Vulcan.
There's
God,
no.
Vulcan.
Do you think they built the Vulcan lore like once they figured out how to crank out the androids in Picard?
Just look. The next episode is Ashes to Ashes.
Yeah, don't.
Just
Brian's just here to watch TV. We're not here to ponder.
Ensign Lindsay Ballard. I think she's an ensign. Oh yeah, she's dating Harry, so she has to be an ensign.
They should
A
have
lieutenant
done.
wouldn't bother.
I'm just saying there should have been a Next Generation episode where the crew had to fight off like android doppelgangers of themselves built by lore. I have no idea how that would work, but
It would work very well. Thanks for asking.
I mean I can't believe they didn't do that idea. Great.
On Discord, I'm, ironically enough, it's meant for gamers, but I'm in all these different religious groups and biblical theology groups, and
Well, that thought. Press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
Gaming is an affront to God.
and then I'm even in
Gamers
this one
don't go
server
to heaven.
where like it's mostly agnostics, but they're not like explicitly hostile to religion. And so one of the observations I have to make is like after the year 2000, there's been a wave of, they're called new atheists. So it's Sam Harris, Christopher Hitchens, Daniel Dennett, and company. So Richard Dawkins. And so Dawkins has been around since the 70s. So but there were older atheists like, the early 1900s, Bertrand Russell, and other philosophers. But like, so I think the older atheists had some kind of respect for religion, and like the new atheists just look at religious people as like drooling idiots who'll believe anything, basically.
I feel like what am I trying to say? Like
So, like the residents of Fairhaven, like everything's some silly superstition, and you can't help people who are just that silly. But
I feel like the skeptical atheists, like the whole philosophy has sort of been we sort of figured out the general tenets of the ideology like centuries ago, and now like what am I trying to say? The very prominent atheists of today don't really have much new to say and simply repeat what
I didn't even
other
know
people have
atheism had
argued for.
tenets.
I don't know what I'm
What does
trying to
that even
say.
mean?
But I'm basically like
It's intellectually
you would
critical.
not want to like invite Bill Nye or Neil deGrasse Tyson to your Christmas party because they would just ruin it with their smarminess. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And also Neil deGrasse Tyson's a total creepy weirdo. And
What did
for
Neil
unrelated
do?
reasons. There's been
I
several
mean, I know he's
repeated
a smart aleck on
allegations
Twitter, but
of misconduct. Weirds me out.
But look, I think look, science is an amazing thing. We need science educators, and he
Yeah,
has a very compelling story where he was like he grew up poor, and now he's like one of the world's most famous astrophysicists.
you can
So
have.
I think he does a service. But
We need a
look,
new generation. Like Bill Nye did some great work, but he has jumped the shark now and is sort
Bill
of.
Nye also did a really good debate
oh,
with.
the writers remembered that the Borg children exist.
Oh wow, and they have braids, which is
I wonder
interesting.
where the Borg children were. Do they go to Fairhaven? Do they get to interact with the hologram?
No, I think they'd be stigmatized in racist 1910s Ireland. Orphan children weren't treated very well in those days.
Lindsay, I feel like you should be concerned about this 8-year-old talking about designations on the comm. There weren't children on board when you died, remember? Oh yeah, don't worry about the fact that look, she's not undead. She's fine. She's just a normal alien. Yes, the wife was deleted a couple weeks ago. There's no more wife. In fact, Fairhaven's gone. Fairhaven has ceased to exist. We will never see it again. It's over. Shoot the child. You missed your opportunity in the Borg episode, but now she's violated ship security.
Why do the
Take her
phone
down.
calls get routed to
Astrometrics? Why,
yeah,
yeah. Why?
stellar cartography? You know, like this is is this the only time we see a new a hail come in through here anyway?
Yeah. Well, no. This is where we do all our communication with Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but
And this is where we get hailed for the Hirogen, I still think, stolen relay system.
But wouldn't all of those be patched in through the bridge? And those were like fancy hails through the Midas array and stuff. These are just run of the mill normal short range hails.
But even when the Hirogen guy on that station hailed them, just normally it went through the astrometrics.
I thought the Hirogen guy hailed them through the comm network they were using in astrometrics.
Lieutenant, oh yeah, he did get promoted. Good for him. We had a whole ceremony for him and everything. Ah, you probably didn't recognize me because of the zombification.
This episode, okay, really weird. You can, you guys were discussing earlier if like Voyager wasn't as good. Watching this, for like in sequence for the first time, thanks to Ryan's watch along. I would say there is so many good plots in Voyager that have come to become very pertinent in our modern world. like especially AI, the role of AI, the role of technology, and that makes it like great science fiction on par with TNG and Voyager, DS9 Enterprise even.
I
Um,
feel,
so sorry, this episode though, it almost reminds me. Okay, what were you gonna say? Everyone's favorite?
oh, I was going to say I agree, like this. These are good episodes.
Great.
I don't know about the middle one, but the other two we're watching today are very good. I feel like Voyager has a lot of great ideas, but the characters aren't implemented, or what am I? They don't engage with them as and seeing them engage with them isn't as interesting as it is in TNG or DS9.
So one of the things though was that because DS9 and Voyager were basically concurrent, like they forbade Voyager from having a long story arc the way DS9 did. They said, look, you're a Planet of the Week show, and that's what you're going to be. So it really limits your ability to develop characters. Like even Jadzia, right, who they kill, she grows so much as a character
Thanks,
because
Rick Berman.
they have the long arc, And whereas like you really don't ever get that kind of richness, not even with Seven or Janeway.
What do you mean? We promoted Tuvok a few seasons ago, and she just referenced it. Season-long arcs.
Yeah,
They've
so
done
that's
it.
the thing. And so, but we don't. Ensign Lindsay Ballard wasn't even a thing.
Yeah, she doesn't exist.
She
Before
doesn't
this
exist. This just like if you don't remember, there's nothing wrong with you.
We could have had, as hang on, let me look back at as Elizabeth said, if we had an actual character who died in season 1 or 2 just come back,
Yeah,
that'd have been fun. We could have done that for sure.
it would have been really interesting. Even Carrie, the engineer guy, no, not Carrie, but the chief engineer who dies.
You're exactly like the writers thought they had killed him off. Now you're thinking they killed him off. No, he's fine. He's still on the ship.
There's I can think of multiple instances in TNG where they characterize like the random background nobody crew members. Like there's O'Brien was originally one of those. There was Ensign Sonia Gomez, who appeared
Chief
in
Engineer McDougal. Everyone loves Chief Engineer McDougal.
Who appeared in multiple episodes and
also Chief Engineer Argyle.
Sort of an arc. There was the who was the person that Wesley had a crush on? The other engineer.
Robin Leffler.
Yeah, Robin Leffler.
One thing TNG does that I really hate in Star Trek Generations, Data has the emotion chip and he can't stop laughing. So it's like on the 4-point mission. Don't you remember the joke? A monk and a Ferengi enter a bar. A monk and a Ferengi in a gorilla suit enter a bar. And I'm like, wait a minute, that joke was not.
They never told that joke.
Why are you messing with my head? I'm trying to remember. And
why is TNG gaslighting us?
They didn't even introduce the Ferengi in Farpoint. They barely knew who they were.
Plus, I want to hear the punchline to that joke. Like, how do you? So, she's the joke from Encounter at Farpoint over here. But
everybody, you guys know Lindsay Ballard. She's Harry's girlfriend.
She could have been
Lindsay.
She could have been the person who died and gave the doctor brain aneurysm that had to get his mind wiped for.
She could have been the other Harry Kim. We could have just had another Harry.
So this episode isn't really coded sexually, because she's blue. But
what? They're literally dating.
Yeah, but she never existed. So again, his girlfriend is not there. But here's the thing. I feel like even though they weren't going there, this is great sci-fi, and I feel like, again, this is not what the episode's about, but transgenderism kind of is a theme here. Because look, what if you're the same body, but you're a different person? And
no, that's the opposite of what transgender is. It's the same person, but it's slight changes.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. One thing I watch Jesse Gender, who's like a Star Trek YouTube fan who's also trans, and so like there's Philosophy Tube who does philosophy videos in the UK, and so she there's just such a thing as medicalization of transgenderism. It's like you don't need to have a surgery to be trans. you can just feel like your identity is
Yeah,
different.
you're just you.
Yeah, you can just be like, well, I've always felt like this is who this is my personality, and
So
this is the.
this is only tangentially related because you said Jesse Gender. I started watching, and I've only seen one thing from them, which was I started watching their video about J.K. Rowling
Mhm,
because I wanted to get some information on it.
mhm,
I got 15 minutes in and they still hadn't started talking about J.K. Rowling. It's like nope, nope. It's like come on, it
mhm,
was 3.5 hours. At some point, we need to start talking about the subject of the video. Come on,
mhm, 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 mhm.
3 hours?
3.5 hours, and they hadn't started talking 15 minutes in.
The only
Apparently,
3 hour YouTube video I would watch are these watch alongs. Pluggo.
so
It's like videos about speedrunning. Ironically, videos about speedrunning are drawn out so long. They take forever. It's like 2 hours to discuss a single little trick.
true. But
Anyway, my whole point is Jesse Gender might be awesome, but they really need to trim down the length of some videos.
yeah, there's a lot going on with that J.K. Rowling stuff. But so the thing is that you have a body, and everyone sees you in a certain way, but you're like, well, no, I'm not that person, and I really prefer to be this way.
Oh, real quick.
And
I gotta get going, but I may or may not return. Peace out.
okay, have a good
Live,
Sunday.
live long and prosper.
Don't tell me what to do.
The higher
Shut
the
up.
viewer.
Live long and bite me.
I may have to go also, unfortunately.
Okay.
But so I feel like even though I don't think this is what they were thinking about when they wrote the episode, it's just in the sci-fi sense. Like, are you as you're born? Are you as what society assigns you? And at what point at what point does your identity, if it clashes with society's assignment of your identity, how do you negotiate that? And at the end of this episode, she decides to go back to her second identity. But it brings up the question, like, who are you? Are you like anyway? How it's kind of weird how she even gets to remember her old identity as Ensign Lindsay.
Are we still talking about Lindsay or are we talking about Jesse?
What about Lindsay Ballard being a metaphor for like trans body issues, body mind?
Yeah, I'm not sure I follow that metaphor, but
I'm just
Lindsay
saying.
is interesting.
Look, if they can take her dead body's matter and reform it to be like one of their aliens, and let's say it wasn't the 90s, and they brought her back as a son, and she comes back and says, "Oh, well, I identify as NZ Lindsay Ballard, but you turned me into a son, but like I never agreed to that." It's just interesting.
So
I mean, I don't.
I have unrelated questions about Lindsay.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about religion earlier, and Lindsay Ballard died straight up. She was dead.
Yeah, she was totally dead.
So if there's an afterlife, did the Kabali create a new soul, or did they rip Lindsay Ballard back from the afterlife and put her back into her body?
It's a good question. Yeah, well, I don't know, but
sort of metaphysically, is this Lindsay Ballard, or is this a new person in the body of Lindsay Ballard?
This might be a soulless, like reanimation of a corpse.
Husk.
Yeah,
a fraud.
But it doesn't make any sense because obviously she's alive. So whatever made the other person alive makes this person alive, right? Electricity, whatever you did to bring them back.
So regarding the chat, I would absolutely not watch a 20-hour video about a Skyrim retrospective. Jesus. What do you suppose? You could play the whole game in that time. Main quest lines, anyway. I mean, Jesus. What do you even have to say about Skyrim for 20 hours? I kind of want to watch it just out of curiosity for how much they can possibly draw it out. Do they spend like 2 hours on how it feels when you swing a hammer versus sword? How does that work?
So in Star Trek 2 though, when Spock comes back, that they put the catcher back in his soul, his body.
Yeah, so so revived Spock before he got his Katra back was a fake person? He didn't have
Yeah, that's the husk. That's the husk.
So like if they never got the Katra back, how would Spock have developed? Just I
You
don't
don't.
know.
I mean, I'm a, like
I
religion
think this is why
and
TNG got
atheist.
away from religion because it's too
Yeah.
complicated.
So in the on atheist YouTube, I always propose because atheists think they have all the answers, and I respect atheists and agnostics, right? Because all they do is they're asking questions, and obviously you're going to ask questions because science can explain so much that people did not know how to explain 2,000-3,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago. So but one thing we still don't know, and I love my 7th grade English teacher because she made us read Frankenstein, I think twice, like 7th grade and 8th grade. And so Frankenstein, the writer, Mary Shelley, she does a really brilliant job because, she says, oh, at the end of the book, I'll tell you what is the secret to life that Dr. Frankenstein used to bring
Is that a
back.
lie?
Yeah, well, the character, the narrator dies by the end of the book, so he can't tell you the secret to bringing someone back to life.
What the heck, Mary?
Yeah, but so the thing is though,
Uncool.
the Monsieur Frankenstein, he takes body parts from cadavers in the cemetery,
Frankenstein?
and he does, he basically zaps enough electricity or whatever he does to bring a person back to, to bring the
How much,
I
amalgam of
want
body
to
parts.
I want to take
how much
Frankenstein
did I
because it's in the
miss?
public domain.
We're
Don't
in the
worry
last
about it.
episode.
Because
Is
Frankenstein
this
is
the
public
second episode
domain.
or the third episode?
Third.
Oh man.
Because Frankenstein is public domain, I want to make my own version of it where the only change is that the monster is named Frankenstein.
Yeah, but you'd be wrong.
And then just start selling that. So people who are pedantic can just like, look, I got this copy of the book. It says
So
Oh, took some of her makeup off.
when when you get the blue eyeshadow is gone, thank God.
She has
So
human eyes.
so the uh the entire thing of Frankenstein is like, look, you take dead body parts and you put electricity into it, and wham, you get a living, breathing abomination of a creature. But the thing is, though, we still don't know what animates life. And I'm trolling atheists in atheist chat, and again, I respect atheists and agnostics for asking legitimate questions.
I feel like
But
at some point we should move on from the atheism thing.
no, but what I'm saying
We
is,
haven't
though,
really talked about the
they
episode much.
no, but you were asking about like what did they do to bring her back or whatever,
You know, I find when people who are like really religious start getting into these like preachy rants, it's just because they're trying to reinforce their own beliefs to themselves. It's like, who are you trying to convince? Like,
Well, the
me or
doctor's
you?
trying to convince a bunch of people who aren't really there with his preaching.
sinners, all of you. But the thing is, though, we still don't know what animates a corpse. And, atheists in the chat are like, oh, well, it's electricity. I said, well, it's clearly not electricity because, you could just put a certain number of voltage in a dead body, to come back to life. So, you atheists, you think you know everything? But guess what? We still don't know what animates life.
You know what I don't know?
Hmm.
I don't know why Lieutenant Torres is so hung up about someone speaking a different language. It's not that big a deal. It's just... I'm confused as to why, one, the universal translator doesn't work on Kabali, but more importantly, two, it feels kind of weird and xenophobic for Starfleet to be so hung up on it. I mean, I guess Torres isn't really Starfleet. But it's just... I don't know. I don't like that reaction. I think they should be nicer to her.
She's an abomination.
That's blatantly racist against Kabali.
No, just they took a human body, they put some
Yeah, whatever. The
electricity in
humans
it,
weren't using it anymore.
and then they brought back some guy's daughter, or they made her into something. Anyway, I think she did the right thing because having her on the ship would be too awkward. Like I don't even think Harry Kim wanted a girlfriend like that.
Oh, what? Okay. 1500 is 1600. That is the optimal time for fun per 7 of 9, who, of course, we know her Borg philosophy is perfect.
Right.
So 1500, 1600. So in
3
1
o'clock.
hour
4
and 3
o'clock.
minutes, everyone, well, I guess depending on your time zone, but this is my stream, so it's my time zone. In 1 hour and 3 minutes, everyone must commence having fun.
And then
This stream does not count. This is not fun. This is not recreational. If
It
the
must
monster's name is
count.
Frankenstein, the doctor will also be Frankenstein. They'll both be Frankenstein.
One really good scene in Frankenstein is that like the monster learns French just from watching a French family in the cabin. And he's so hideous because he's made up of dead body parts. He knows that he can't like talk to people because they'll like freak out. But there's a blind grandfather that lives with the family in the cabin, so he makes friends with the grandfather when the family's away. And so he's able to like perfect his French through
So are you saying Lindsay is being shunned because she's ugly?
a little. I mean, humans judge based on appearances, unfortunately. When the family
This is
comes
the
home early one
utopian
day,
future. They don't do that anymore.
they all beat the monster and they shoo him out of their house even though he didn't do anything. And that's what makes him
Now is she gonna be shunned?
oh wow, she looks pretty now.
They just took off the makeup. Well, I mean,
No, they
some makeup.
undid the
But
genetic modifications.
no, they explicitly did. They literally just put makeup on her.
No,
The
no, no.
modifications are only skin deep. They couldn't actually fix her. Well, okay, that was very racist of me to say, fix her. There's nothing wrong with the Kabali as they are. They couldn't alter her genetic code to be human. So they just made some skin deep alterations, gave her some hair. Why hasn't been Harry invited to the... So Lindsay was invited to Captain's Quarters because she... Jesus. Kathy, come on. Lindsay was invited over because she was dead, and that's a special circumstance that she's alive now. But Harry's done that twice, at least. Why doesn't Harry get invited?
To be fair, the one Harry Kim is just dead, regular dead, in space somewhere.
He could be a Kabali. I bet there's a book out there where Harry Kim comes back as a Kabali. I would be willing to bet because those
It's really
side
far
novels,
away from where they are now.
By the way,
Star Trek doesn't care. Come on, man.
So here's the thing: how does the replicator burn the dinner?
Because she programmed the temperature to be so many degrees,
What?
and now they're just gonna eat some plain white bread.
So a scientist doesn't know how many degrees Celsius you cook a chicken at? Pot roast that. Also,
Well,
it can't be that hard to replicate a new one. She's just like very
so cooking is a science,
okay,
but
I don't get it out of
you
a
wouldn't
wall.
ask like a geologist a question about, say, biology, So like just because she's a scientist doesn't mean she knows every
No, but
science.
but she should just be able to ask the replicator, computer, pot roast, and then it spits out a pot roast. That's all you need.
Yeah.
Medium rare.
Yeah, no, they don't have to butter their bread here, like they can easily recycle the burnt pot roast. And I think they're just trying to, because they're trying to like tomboy her up a little bit. Like she's not a great cook. Like Picard never cooks. Why the hell would she cook?
Why did you send me to my death? Why couldn't it have been Harry? Okay, Lindsay, your phrasing there is kind of sketchy. In letting you die. She didn't let you die. You just happened to die. It was an incidental death. Definitely feels like Lindsay needs a hug, though.
So you
Definitely needs
came
some
back
therapy.
just to voice your regrets.
I wonder if they record their funerals. Could you watch your own funeral?
But Harry gave the eulogy at this funeral, so um
God, I bet he played the stupid clarinet.
How was Halo yesterday, guys? You went on for a long time.
It was Halo-y.
He looks familiar. I mean, he's got like 4 different layers of makeup going on and a rubber mask, but he looks familiar. What's this episode called? Ashes to Ashes? Let me try to look up his actor. Her new fake undead dad.
Imagine if, like, Troy, when she was turned into a Romulan by the Tal Shiar, she just decided to go along with that identity. Yeah, I'm gonna be your daughter now. You
What?
know.
No, you're thinking of when Kira was turned into a
Yeah, okay,
Cardassian.
right. And she was the
They're
Cardassian.
mixing up
You mean
two.
that time Troy was turned into a fish?
You mean the
Um,
time that Janeway was turned into a salamander?
You mean the
Star
time when
Trek's
Harry
weird.
Kim started glowing and tripped, grew a third nipple?
So the fake undead dad's name is Kevin Lowe. Okay, what else has he done?
So Lindsay Ballard had a chance to, like, get Harry back in her life, and then she just walked away again. Like, oh yeah, okay. You're crazy, but you never had a picture of her.
We've never heard of her
We
before.
never heard of this person before.
So apparently, yeah, the actor playing her undead dad hasn't been in anything of consequence before. So I don't know why he looks familiar.
I mean, we never saw Lindsay before either, so we never see her again either. So I guess she's happy wherever she is.
Lindsay, did you just YOLO on my Star Trek?
YOLO, but not with Harry.
God, now I need to kill her again. Ah, clearly the left twin was the superior twin because his cube was bigger.
That was a board kid, the twin?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're engaging in recreation.
Oh, okay, the 1500 to 1600 thing? Okay.
Okay, Mazzotti, that's horrifying. Honestly, I prefer Icheb's is clearly the best one here.
Oh, wow, he did it to model scale. Nice.
I like that 26-sided polyhedron. That's a good 26-sided polyhedron.
You know, I saw this thing on YouTube Shorts. It was really amazing. This guy built it looks like a castle tower, you know, the thing at the end of the corner. Like a fort kind of thing. But you make it out of Legos, and then you build like a cast around it, and then you pour concrete into it. And basically, instead of a 3D printer, you can just, like, build it. If you can build it out of Legos, you can basically pour a concrete mold into it. But that's what I think they must have made some Icheb's dodecahedron thing.
Clearly, this scene is a reference to Captain Picard Day, where that weird clay sculpture of Picard's head won first place.
So
Similarly, Mazzoti's horrifying face sculpture won first place.
each of here mentions a punishment protocol. Like,
Yeah,
so, and
Punishment Protocol 9 Alpha.
it continues. So basically, like, Seven has parental control, and she can like ground them. I mean, I assume she's
Wait,
not
is that a Klingon ship with bits glued onto it?
that look like triangles.
It looks like they just glued a bunch of triangles onto a Klingon bird of prey.
Yeah, they glued a box around a bird of prey. So, maybe she doesn't want to be your daughter. She clearly wants to be Ensign Lindsay
No,
Valley.
Kabali don't believe in self-determination, and you have to respect that because it's their culture.
She doesn't even look like one of them anymore. So Harry, I got bad news for you, bro. This doesn't work out for you.
What does this guy look like? Why does he look
I
so
agree. He
familiar
does
to
seem
me?
very, 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 very. But he can play that kind of father role in any show. That's true. Humans are pretty ugly.
Does anyone else, whenever you just see a human, just in general, do you ever think about how much we look like our ape relatives?
I try not to, but we do. Even the name we give our cousins, genetic cousins, they're called primates. And like, for example, in Catholicism, the patriarch, he's like the head of his district. But they're also called primates because again, primates means you're number one. So we're just assuming out of all the animals in the animal kingdom, those human looking things are like number one because they're next to us. I mean, this is before we found out about genetics and evolution and that we're like 98% similar. But we just knew
My
that
point is just that we look like monkeys.
yeah, but there's a reason.
Yeah, evolution.
Yeah, there's a very, very specific reason why that is.
I think we're all familiar with the reason that we look like people we're closely genetically related
Yeah,
to.
some people don't try not to think about it too much, but you got to think about it.
Well, I like to think about it. Because
Me
you see
too.
someone, like, if someone's like
What else
picking
has
at
this
their
guy
hair,
done?
it's like, oh yeah, monkeys, they pick stuff out of their hair.
Yeah.
We share so many behaviors.
Yeah.
Except the ripping people's arms off, hopefully.
I mean, we're plenty violent to each other, so
And throwing feces at passersby.
we just chuck it into the ocean.
Is this guy gonna threaten Voyager? I feel like he's gonna try to destroy Voyager to get her back.
In Discord chat, I put a link to a thing from a science webs magazine. So the backbone of certain kinds of mammals, we can study like how it's changed. But I like to think about how like we used to have a tail and then we lost a tail. And what it would be like if I lost
Except
a tail.
for the rare occasion where somebody is still born with one.
Yeah,
Except
a lot of people are
they-
born with vestigial tails.
Except they don't really look like proper tails. They just more like someone glued a sausage onto them.
This looks like
And it's
a
kinda
little
gross.
finger sticking off the top of your butt crack.
Like 10
God,
years
a
ago,
tail would be so helpful.
Yeah,
If we could
I
like
totally agree.
grab stuff with a tail.
I totally
It's
agree. Like
fantastic.
if you're in the kitchen, you could mix like another bowl with a mixing bowl.
Not prehensile. They're
But we
vestigial.
well, yeah, modern ones are. But if we could have our prehensile tails back, that would be fantastic. We could use tails.
They're really useful. I'm kind of mad we lost them.
Or maybe we could do the octopus thing and just get like 8 limbs. That'd be
No,
so
but here's
helpful. We could get so much stuff done.
No, but even the limbs aside, a tail tells a lot of people your body language, right away. Like don't approach me, don't mess with me, or whatever. So like just for that, it would help with a lot of social cues.
If it's long enough, you could use it to scratch your back.
But
Can't do that with your arms.
so another thing though that's messed up about our evolution is that our hands and feet, they were like originally used for grasping branches. And so like 10 years ago I was drunk and dancing and I landed the weight of my body like went on my ankle and I fractured my ankle.
You
But
grabbed a nearby branch?
it is very easy, like your wrists and ankles are very easily broken because they're not meant for like being on land and like suffering your body weight and impacts. They're really meant to like grab trees and you know they have weak spots. They're very fragile. They suck. The design sucks. I was told it's like the number one athletic injury to like twist your ankle.
Lindsay's having a bit of a breakdown here. So Lindsay gets two options. She can either spend the like half of her life in sick bay, or she can go back with the people who may be kidnapped. Does that count as kidnapping?
They just
And
revived her out
sort
of.
of turned her into a different species and gave her a new family. So that's fun.
She could have a father who loves her or Harry Kim. That's her choice.
I feel like we should definitely stop launching people out of torpedo tubes now that we know the Kabali are out there.
Here's the thing though, why do the Kabbalah need other people's dead bodies if they could just take any matter? Like if why don't they just take like dead dogs or dead cats and just morph them into their own people?
Where are you going to find a dog corpse in space?
But
We've been in space for a while. We have
I'm just
like
saying
two.
I think
fine.
I think you need a humanoid
They
base.
come from a planet. So like just find a dead monkey and turn it into your daughter. Also, why would these people even need an alien's body? Why don't they just use their own bodies? And therefore they would never have to suffer death because they've cured life, right? Anyway.
Why don't they just conquest a nearby planet and turn them into Kabali?
Yeah. But like I said, I
They
think
could be Stellaris necrophages.
like I said, I think the point of this episode is just like really good sci-fi and like in the future, what if one day your body could have a different identity than you? And how would you deal with that? Yeah.
I'm going to look
What
up
about
Lindsay
us?
Ballard on Memory Beta. I want to see if there's some book where she shows up at the Admiral of the Fleet and helps save the galaxy.
So the girl who broke up with you 3 years ago just came back to tell you the girl who loved
They
you
didn't
died
break
3 years
up,
ago.
she died.
Okay. So the girl who 3 years ago left you came back to tell you to remind you of that fact. Okay. So this is the only time I think so far in the show where like Voyagers had to like bend their will to an alien species. Like they're gonna destroy Voyager if they don't give up fake Lindsay over here. Like
Torpedoes, kill them.
the board can't coerce Janeway. Seven can't coerce Janeway. The tank can't coerce Janeway.
Janeway is the alpha on this show.
The Krenim can't force Janeway. The Borg Queen can't force Janeway. The Kazon can't force Janeway. Nobody has ever been able to force Janeway to do anything. And here they're like if this was Seven, this would never happen. But because it's someone who came back, not even came back.
Wait. I just realized. So Harry wants to date Lindsay Ballard again. Also, those really look like Klingon ships.
Yeah, those are Vortex
redressed.
classes. Yeah.
So Harry wants to date Lindsay again. But what about his fake hologram girlfriend, Maggie O'Halloran? What happened to her?
I guess he just likes
He
cows.
just tossed her aside like a casual holo novel? I don't think she's going to be keen on this. He turned his previous girlfriend into a cow. He turned his current girlfriend into a human.
Don't learn a language just to say goodbye to a girl who's not choosing you.
Why not?
Because that's simp. Simp. Don't be a simp.
Remember, the lesson of today is don't do nice gestures for someone if you don't get anything out of it.
Yeah, I don't need your kisses, Ensign Lindsay Ballard. Just stay dead.
Well, what about Libby? Libby doesn't exist. Don't worry about Libby. She's gone. She was several seasons ago.
That timeline has been out of existence. So
Does Libby wait? Does Harry actually have more girlfriends than Tom?
they just well,
I think he does. It's just Tom settles down and marries Torres.
So I think the Voyager movie is just gonna be about Harry finally getting a girl.
The Voyager movie?
If they ever do one.
There'll never be a Voyager movie.
I mean, at one point we thought we were never gonna get another Star Trek show again. So
Well, no.
maybe 100 years from now when Paramount is
I
owned by
think-
Disney, you know, they might
Maybe
do a movie.
maybe at some point somebody will make a reboot, you
Mhm.
know, like they did with
The end of
Star Trek
Picard season
2009?
3. The Cisco shows up and saves the day, and it leads into the next movie.
Oh. Yeah, I watched the latest episode of Picard last night after we
Well,
got
don't
done
talk
with
about
after we got done with what you call it?
Halo.
Halo, yeah, I'm not going to talk about it, but I'm just saying, like, man.
So are we having a stream next
Okay.
week, Ryan? Sorry.
Let me look. It was either next week or the week after that I was going to cancel. Which one was it? Let me look at my thing. Let's see. Well, yeah, no stream next week.
Okay, thank you.
But there is Halo
Yeah.
Infinite on Saturday, but that's not a stream. That's just I happen to not be busy on Saturday.
Fun stuff. All right, thank you, Ryan. Thank you, chat. Have a great weekend, Robo and company.
You too.
Yeah. What's the week after?
Robo and
The
Company.
week after is Child's Play, which is, I assume, about... that's about Icheb's dad, Badger. Right. Good Shepherd, about the 3 crewmen who are trash at their jobs. And, Live Fast and Prosper. That's the good one. Live Fast and Prosper, 2 weeks from now, which is April 2nd. Oh, perfect for April Fools. It's an episode about a bunch of people pretending to be the Voyager crew and scamming people. It was just a prank. It's all fine.
Just a prank, bro.
So yeah, Child's Play, Good Shepherd, and Live Fast and Prosper on April 2nd, but this stream is over. We're done here. The week shall perish.